when you are too flexible, you have to be careful because it's really easy to hurt yourself, but you're like in the extreme case because you're literally diagnosed for it.
Yeah, the second type of collagen, my body just doesn't make it. Hence the like super hypermobility just everywhere.
It's so crazy. Hey, it's Josephine from the Pointe shop. I'm in the Oakland showroom right now, and I have a treat for you guys. This is the most flexible woman I have ever seen in my 15 years of Pointe shoe fitting, and it's frightening for me. It's always scary for me to see someone who's really flexible because Pointe work, if you don't have the strength to support that flexibility, you can just roll over on your ankles because it's like human beings are not made to do this, right? Yeah. But Sarah is actually diagnosed with EDS, which is the reason why she's so flexible.
Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome basically is the lack of the collagen 2 like we were talking about, so I can sublux or dislocate anything at any time. And it affects everything. Ligaments, organs, veins. So, fun time.
Yeah.
But it makes sense why I got so flexible so quick.
Yeah, and it's, I'm scared too. Because I'm like, you can do that like just walking, but like now we're going to do this on your toes. So, but you danced growing up. Mm-hmm. And then you stopped dancing for a little while?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I kind of got back into it. My senior year of high school is when I went hard on it again.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm just going to do this because my shoulders were hurting from swimming too much. And so I was like, I'm going to do something else. And so I went back to dancing. And
I mean, the lines are really beautiful. I don't want to encourage this, but what I noticed with her feet though, it's quite wide and high profile, but most of her flexibility is on the front half of her foot, so towards her toes. So I need to give her something that's a little bit harder in that area because I need to give her a little bit more support to go up straighter rather than push over. So a lot of dancers have trouble getting over onto their box because their ankle flexibility isn't quite there yet. But Sarah, I have to pull her the opposite direction because we have to counter, and her legs are like that too. She's flexible everywhere. Like her legs are going up like this, and then it's like a completely S shape. So good for you for continuing to dance. It's amazing. It's so much more dangerous for you to be in ballet than anything.
Yeah.
Because it's like, but luckily you're strong in your ankles.
Yes.
So you're not like gonna roll over, hopefully.
Use your TheraBands. Use your TheraBands, guys. You gotta keep those ankles strong, those toes, everything.
Yeah, because generally speaking, like the more flexible you are, you have to keep working on your like strength a little bit more.
Yep.
Especially if you're balancing on something like this. I'm gonna pick out a shoe for her. If you guys think I sound really sexy today, it's because I got sick. Let me know what you guys think. But anyway, okay, so the toe, we started from scratch today.
Yes.
And even though she's been on Pointe before, we're just starting from scratch. So she brought 2 pairs of Pointe shoes that she's had previously. She's had one super crazy rock hard shoe that she broke in
like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And it was my second pair of Pointe shoes.
Second pair. So like 2 weeks is not so crazy for like a professional, but 2 weeks when you start out, that's pretty fast. So these are rock hard, and she went through these in 2 weeks. But the funny part is, then she got a really soft shoe, and then she also made them last about a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Right. So like regardless of the shank strength, it's about the same. And I think the most important thing for you is to just get support in the correct space. We're gonna put on one of her old shoes just to show you guys. One of her main problems with Pointe shoes is that the shoes twist, so the shank doesn't sit completely straight on her heel, and a lot of Pointe shoes do that on her just because of the way that her foot shape is. And then another thing is that she breaks her shoes too quickly. I'm not sure how much I can help with that.
And just my wallet problem.
Yeah, yes. And also the third thing is it's psychologically scary to be in certain shoes for her because it's not supporting her at all. Like the shoes break too low because her foot breaks low, then she's just gonna roll over on those. So you're not able to dance properly if you don't feel psychologically safe. So you're like, I'm gonna hold on to this bar for the whole class because I'm afraid that if I step away from the bar and I don't have this, then I'm gonna roll over. And as you can see when she's putting on her shoes, this shoe is pretty low profile, even though Sarah's high profile. So it's actually cutting her off right in the middle. And that's one of the things that is going to cut that beautiful line of hers. Okay, so no matter what she wears, it's gonna look beautiful. So you're gonna be like, oh, that looks great. But I think the main thing is that it's psychologically scary and you're not able to actually dance because it's
terrifying.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. I would like to break something.
Yeah, please don't. I'm so scared that I'm gonna dislocate something right now.
No.
Okay, so she twists a bit in her shoes. So the shank is not completely flat on her heel. And she is breaking very low. But it's actually indicative of how her foot breaks. But when she's dancing, she's actually pulling herself back right now.
These shoes are not my friend.
Yes, so it's really scary. So she actually has to pull herself back.
Yeah, like this is more comfortable and I'm pulled back like a good half-inch.
And you can see her legs too. It's crazy. It's crazy like how hyperextended she is. So she's actually not standing on a straight line. So think about it. If you're balancing, you want to be stacked, like aligned well, so that
even in a fifth, I have to like bend my knees a little bit to like make it work correctly. Because otherwise, if I try to like stand with my legs actually straight, it doesn't.
You're like almost like a caricature of like a ballerina. Her legs go in so drastically and her feet are so flexible. So my job today is to get her something that she feels more safe in and more supported. So I'm actually gonna make a shoe, not make a shoe, but I'm gonna actually give her a shoe that's a little bit stronger from here to here so that she feels a little bit more comfortable. And also you can see how much her foot shrinks because it was really tight when she was flat, but when she goes up on point, you see all this, right?
And even though I've crossed my elastics too.
Exactly. She has already all her ribbons and elastic in place, but it's still like so baggy I can put my whole hand in there. That little piece of elastic that you guys see that she sewed on is a vamp elastic. And in theory, if we had a longer vamp, it would hold her back a little bit more so she would feel safe. And that works sometimes. For Sarah, it didn't work. So
these shoes never really saw the floor.
Yes. So the things that I'm looking at as I'm losing my voice more and more, her toes are actually pretty short compared to the rest of her foot. So that's another thing that we kept in mind when I was doing the fitting. So for Sarah, we're gonna do the thinnest toe pad possible because I want her to be able to control the shoes a little bit more. So I'm giving her a toe pad that has like very thin bottoms and just cushion at the top. She has such a high profile foot that I don't want to lift her more off the floor, so I want her to be a little bit flatter. So let's go ahead and put that one on. So I changed the shape of the box and the shank, not how soft it is, but where it is soft. So before, when she was in her other shoes, it was soft all the way through. Now it's going to be hard all the way up until that point, and then it gets soft after that. Okay, stand up for me. And also, I made the fabric a little bit less so that she can show off her feet instead of like having that really baggy foot. First position. Parallel. Step up onto points. Okay, now the shank isn't twisting anymore. So that has more to do with the box shape than anything. Her foot's just sitting straighter now. So that looks much better. And then the fabric is actually clinging onto her heel a little bit better. So she's not, there's nothing like really baggy or anything. And back out to first position. Now if you look at her feet, now she's not rolling over anymore because the shoe's breaking up here, not down here where she was breaking before. So if you guys remember when she was pointing her feet, her toes curl a lot. So I needed to make it a little bit straighter so that she gets a little bit more support. For Sarah, I need her to be safe. So I pulled her up instead of over, and aesthetically it's a lot prettier too because it's not twisting and it's not as baggy anymore. And it's not because it's a smaller shoe. The length is actually the same, just the fabric cut is a little bit different. And then go to parallel. And the last thing is that there's this nice beautiful line from the top of the platform all the way to her ankle because the shoe's not so low profile that it's cutting off her foot. So those are the things that I kept in mind while I was fitting Sarah. It is certainly the scariest fitting I've ever done. But I'm really glad that she feels more psychologically safe, because there's nothing like being scared to perform.
Yeah.
Or feeling like everything hurts or like whatever. Like, your shoes are such a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah, you should not have to think about your shoes while you're dancing.
No.
So, safety, safety, safety. I was not really that familiar with this disease.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this before. But maybe you can talk about a couple different things that maybe some of our listeners can check for themselves.
Yeah, so if you guys notice that you're extremely hyper flexible, like you saw in me, that was after a year of dancing on Pointe. So like, that's not very long compared to lifetimes of dancing that people do, where they get this extreme structure from dancing from such a young age. If you notice that you're extremely hyper flexible, there's something called the Brighton scale that you can look up, and if you do test high on the Brighton scale, bring it up with your doctor, because it could be something. It's much more common than people think, actually. I have a very severe form of it, hence my extreme hyper flexibility, but there are much lesser forms of it. The most common is hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome, and that's like, what is it? It's now ranked as common, so 1 in 5,000 people. So that's pretty common for a genetic illness like this. So if you're very, very, very flexible and there's a lot of pain involved that isn't normal for like when you're stretching or doing anything, bring that up with your doctor, because that's not normal.
And also, Sarah is a testament that you could go through anything and still do what you love. So there is always a way. I know a lot of people are telling you guys, like, whatever your disease or disabilities or whatever situation that you're in, like, you need to quit whatever you're passionate about. But there is always a way. So yes. I love that you came in and were able to find something for you. Yes. So if you guys have any questions, if you relate to this, I'm going to try to find some links and put it on the description box too.
Yeah.
I'll also link her YouTube channel, where she talks about more of this disease. Mm-hmm. And if you guys want to learn more, please leave me a comment and I'll answer, and I'll chat with you guys later. Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you.